Welcome back to Not So Grand Garage. As you can see, we're out in the shop getting ready to tear into the truck again. The sun is starting to peek out over the trees, and yeah, considering the days are getting really short, we don't have a lot of time, but we got a lot of work to do, so let's get at it. Some things have changed since the last video. Got the hitch put in. You can see we've come up in here. We've got 4 5/8 bolts, grade 8 both sides. Got the main tube welded in. Everything is tied together real nice. This is a 16,000 pound hitch, 1,600 pound tongue weight. It's the draw tight ultra frame setup. These are set up for like service body trucks, stuff like that. I picked this up really cheap on sale, Amazon, years ago. It's been sitting in the shop. I knew that the frame on this truck had been hacked off at the back, so I was going to have to use something different because all the mounting holes and the length of the frame where a normal hitch would mount was gone. So this setup worked really well. Still had to add on to the frame a little bit and brace it all up, but that's fine. This is the cobbled together mess that we took off. As you can see, it had been cut, narrowed, had some square tube stitched into the back, which was kind of cobbled together and booger welded in up here. It wasn't pretty. Actually, I think I've got some of the pieces I cut off of it still laying over here. Oh, yeah, it was just kind of synced up to the bottom of the frame and boogered together. Not good, not good at all. But anyways, that's done, and we moved on to getting the bed mounted. So let's see if we've got any light under here. Well, not sure if you'll be able to see this or not, but this is where the original mount was attached. This here is where the original mount was attached, if you want to say attached. You can tell there wasn't much holding it to the truck or the bed. These are the pieces of channel that I cut off, and yeah, real fancy bed mounts we had. And no, that was not done by me. That was a previous owner's job, but we're fixing that. So we've come in with some 4-inch channel, welded it all the way around on the bed side of the frame, and then we're coming down and we are drilling 5/8 holes and we're bolting it to the frame of the truck. And we're going to have 4 channel mounts, 2 in the front, 2 in the middle, and then we're going to weld in some 4-inch flat bar on the very back. That's pretty common with most bed installations, commercial bed installations nowadays, is they will bolt in the all the front mounts, and on the very back where the DOT bumper and such goes, they will weld it solid to the frame. And considering with the hitch and everything that's welded up tight on the back side of the frame is not going to be flexing much at all anyways, so you don't really have to worry about flex there. But bolting it in the front and the middle, that allows a little bit of movement of the frame, and you don't have to, it helps eliminate cracking in the frame. But anywho, we're going to get into this. We've got some holes to drill here. Then I had to go back a little further, clean up the frame, clean up the frame on the bed, get the channel welded in there. And yeah, we'll wrap this up fairly quick. And then we will start wiring things up. So we got the back tires off the truck, and as you can see, I mean, there's still a little bit of tread left in them, but they are showing their age, which September-ish, late September-ish of 2011. So yeah, I do have a new set that are going to be going on, and we will mount those up today. Well, UPS just showed up and made my day longer, but that's okay. These weren't supposed to be until next week, but I got a pair of 30-inch US made toolboxes that are gonna go up under the bed, right behind the cab in front of the back tire. Should look really good, and will give me a lot more space for storage. But sadly, they do not know how to package these very well. This is just sitting in a single ply piece of cardboard. Oh well. I'll see if they can send me a little discount on that, because that's kind of disappointing, but oh well. Like I said, we're going to be repainting them anyways, because I'm going to be wrapper lining the bed. The boxes are going to get the same treatment, so I can straighten up the dings, spray them, we'll never see it, so no big deal. Not going to get mad about it. Anywho, so as I was saying, the back tires are off. We are over here. I'm going to go on and drill this front mount, get it bolted on. I did go on and get this side, driver's side, bolted up. Right here, single 5/8 grade 8 bolt. Got flats, lock washer, red Loctite, and gun it down good and tight. And that's what we're going to do with the channel mounts. So we'll have 4 of those. And then, like I said, on the back, the very back of the bed, we're going to make a single 4-inch wide strap that will weld to both the bed and the frame. But anywho, let's go on and get these holes drilled. Now, I do not have a mag base drill, which would make this job a heck of a lot easier. All I have is my good old 1/2-inch DeWalt, and that's what we've been using. So you don't need a whole lot of fancy tools to do this stuff. A hand drill and some patience, and yeah, you can fabricate things. If you got a welder and a grinder and a drill, you can get a lot more done than you think. But anyways, let's get at it. .5/8 grade 8, 2-inch bolt. Actually, I think this is 1.5 inches. Anyways, no, it's 2-inch. 5/8 grade 8, 2-inch bolt. 2 flats, lock, nut, which the nut is grade 5. Nyeh. And we got red thread locker and our torque wrench. I'm going to send it home. Torque to spec. Now, as far as why I chose to place the mounts where I did instead of where the previous owner had their mounts made up was, well, as you can see, we've got the spring hanger here, which is adding support to the frame, and on the inside where our bolts are, is also where the mid cross member runs through the frame as well. So there's a whole lot of structure right here built into this frame and supporting that area. So that should be a really stout area, really strong. Shouldn't have anything to worry about as far as movement and stuff like that goes. Now we need to move on back. I think I'm going to put in another channel mount right in front of the overload pad, and then we'll build our straps further back. Well, this area isn't gonna work how I hoped, because they had cut the bottom flange off of this channel in order to shape the channel to the frame, I assume. And when they did, they welded a piece of flat stock back to the bottom of the frame, which, you know, I guess that works. But the issue is that flat stock is too wide, and there's a lip on the inside of the frame, and it is hitting that lip. So getting this back where it should be is not going to be possible without dropping the fuel tank or taking the bed back off the truck, and that's not going to happen. I don't have time for all that right now, and it's not super important that I put that mount there. So instead, we're going to come back here. Now this is the pass-through for the fuel fill, and right beside it, at some point, there was a mount here. So I'm going to get this off the frame, and we will run the channel right in front of the rear spring hanger, which again is plenty of strength. And if you remember correctly, this is where this frame is doubled up. It's got the 1/4 inch bar stock ran inside the frame rail, so there is a lot of strength back there. So that should be plenty. So we'll go in and get that cut off, get it cleaned up. I'm debating on coming along and cleaning up the rest of this frame rail, cutting off these other mount points from the different times this bed has been on different vehicles. I don't know if I really want to mess with it or not. It's not imperative. It's not hurting anything, but I don't know. We'll see. But anywho, we'll get under here and get this cut off. Now, I did go on and throw my welding jacket in over the top of the tank and the tank fill to protect it. So, well, got our channel cleaned up where we're going to be welding. It's going to come in, and I'm going to tack it up in place first and then see if we can pull this around, which I'm pretty sure we'll be able to. Shouldn't be an issue. That won't be bad. So we'll go on, burn that in with it clamped in place. Then we'll come back and drill our 5/8 hole. Probably here on the bottom, I think is where I'm gonna go. And yeah, should be good. not half bad. Now we'll come in and go on and drill our holes. I'm not sure if I'm going to do 1 or 2 bolts back here. Probably just 1. I don't know yet. We'll see. Not sure how well you'll see this on camera, but yeah, that's a lot of material. I think we're going to leave it at 1 bolt on that strap as well, because I think 2 is just going to be overkill. And I think what we will do is, instead of welding in our back strap, the more I look at it, which we're really close to this strap too, but I may pull these 2 bolts out of the hitch, clean this up, form up a strap that will come off of this down, and sandwich this hitch as well, so it will not only be tied into the frame, but will be tied into the frame of the bed also. I'm not sure if I'll do that yet, but I think it would add quite a bit of strength to the whole setup on the back. So I may do it. We'll see. We'll see how that comes along. Right now my main goal is to get this bed attached to the truck. I can do this bit right here at any time with tires on it. It makes it pretty easy because tires aren't in the way. Also, with that said, while I'm under here, I've got to grind these 3 rivets off. That is for the rear upper shock mount. The passenger side one has been replaced already because it was rotten. This one looked fairly good when I replaced that other one, but I got to noticing while I was messing around running fuel lines and everything that there were a few thin spots on it. I've already got one, so I'm going to go on and cut it out and change it while the tire's off, while I'm under here working anyways. But first, let's get this bolted on, and yeah. There we go. Plenty of room between the leaf spring and the channel. Is fully welded along the top, and not sure if you'll be able to see it, but our nut and washer and lock are up in here with a good dose of red Loctite. So driver's side is done for now as far as bed mounting goes. Oh hush. And now I need to repeat the steps on the back side of the passenger side, and we'll be good as far as that goes. So I'm gonna go on and knock that out. Don't want to bore you with it, and we'll be back shortly. So I had some questions in the comments about the welding setup that I run. I've had this unit going on 10 years or so. This is probably one of the most expensive tools I've ever bought. It took time. I pinched pennies. I knew what I wanted, and I knew what would fit the work that I do. So yeah, I think it was like $1,400 at the time, something like that. But it took me a while to save the money to get it, but it's been a tank. It's been very reliable. Like I said, 10 years or so on it. Dozens of spools of wire. I don't fab all the time, so for the little bit of stuff I do, this unit works really well. I run a Speed Glass 9100 XL hood. Picked this up off eBay. It was still in the original box, and I think I gave 200 and some change for it. It was on an auction, and yeah, very good score there, at least when I bought it. These hoods were $500-600, but yeah, it's a Miller-Matic 211. It does have the auto set feature, which I do run sometimes when I'm working with this thicker stuff. It's really accurate. It lays really nice beads. So yeah, and it's 110 or 220. You can run it on either. Right now I've got it set up running on 220 035 wire, solid core, 75/25 in the bottle. With that said, yeah, I pinched pennies, saved did everything I could to put back. I had a little Hobart 110 buzz box at the time, needed an upgrade for what I was doing. Finally got the money put back to pick this up. No credit card on it, no nonsense. Guys, stay out of debt to the best of your abilities. A debtor is a slave to the lender, and that's a fact. So, as you can tell, I don't drive a bunch of new stuff. I'm always working on old stuff. Stay out of debt. It ain't worth it. Anyways, let's get back to work. Well, we finished up the bed mounting. Got a little bit of the disaster cleaned up. Do a quick walk around here. Got our channel in the back, fully welded all the way around. On the bed side, 5/8 grade 8. Flats, lock washers, Loctite. Same deal up front, just bigger channel. Welded all the way around. And everything's cleaned up for the most part. We did the same thing on the driver's side of the truck. Down here. And up here. So all we got to do now is come under here. We're going to open up the hole for the fuel fill pass through, and then I'm going to try to use these right here. I picked them up off the jungle site, as some people like to call it, and I think they'll work out fairly well. We'll be able to flush mount them right through the side of the bed, and they won't protrude much, so we won't be tearing them off. They've got a nice O-ring seal on them. I may swap that out for Viton. I'm not sure. Viton, however you want to pronounce it. But yeah, I think they'll work fairly well. I don't think they'll let moisture in. My only concern is they're not vented, but the tanks have vents, so in theory they should be fine. But if not, we'll change it up for something else. But anywho, so that's what I need to work on now. Getting those holes cut, and then I need to change that shock mount out. And once we get that stuff done, we'll wrap this video up here, because I've got quite a bit to do today, and I don't want to make this video 2 hours long. So, yeah. Swing. So we got our tank fills done. We'll see how well they hold up. It's PVC hose, fairly flexible. We'll see. I'm not super concerned with it. If it doesn't hold up long term, I'll get some 2-inch exhaust pipe and fab something up where all we need is a couple little couplers. But for right now, I don't have any, and I have this laying around, so we're going to use it. Got the front done as well. And runs down through the frame of the flatbed and into the midship tank. So that's done, and now I need to get tires swapped out and get some wiring ran and some other piddly stuff. But to keep this video short, I'm going to cut this one off here. If you got any comments, questions, complaints, drop them in the comment section below. I'll leave links to some of the stuff I've used, such as those fuel fills and stuff. I'll leave links to those in the video description. There'll be a link to our website as well for our merch and black diesel gear. If you want to check that out, it's www.notsograndgarage.com. If you would, hit that thumbs up button. It helps us out quite a bit and doesn't cost you anything. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We appreciate you watching.